Our gym has employees who literally die for the company. They stay late, they show up early, and they promote us outside of work. They're all in.
And that didn't happen by accident. That took years of systems, structures, and standards to build a team devoted as they are.
The truth is, it's not easy to get there, but once you do, your life as an owner becomes 10 times easier. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the one system that you need to create to get a high level of buy-in, loyalty, and performance inside your gym.
So the funny thing about this system here, it kind of just reminds me of this show that my wife likes to watch, and it's total trash television. Have you ever watched Selling Sunset?
Never.
Yeah,
Never heard of
good.
it.
Don't expose yourself to that kind of brain rot. So, Selling Sunset is like a bunch of LA realtors, and they have this crazy business where they sell like multi-million-dollar houses in LA. And in this show, there's this one part that I kind of particularly like. They have like a group meeting, and then if one broad sells like a multi-million-dollar house, they go up to the front of the room, they ring this giant bell, and they're like, "Woo!" And then everyone in the team's like, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And even though I despise this show, I do like that moment because it does like bring the team together and celebrate the wins going on in that business.
You just gave me a great business idea. I think we should make a reality TV show out of Kraken.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, because it does. Like I remember back in the day, we knew that we needed to create a team that was like high energy and that was excited to make sales. I remember specifically talking about that. And then now I think like it took us probably a good like year or two to cultivate that, but now we are living in it. Like our team is high energy. There's people like fighting for the sale and like trying to compete against each other. And that kind of environment obviously is, first of all, really awesome to work for, but it also makes the company a lot of money.
100%, because they kind of self-govern themselves, and not only that, they push each other to higher levels, and it's like a fun competition, right? It's not like they're at each other's necks trying to claw back whatever like $1 or $2 from each other. They're like, hey man, I just made that huge sale, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I just recently had a meeting with one of our trainers, and he was like saying how he wants more sales meetings. He wants more consultations, and he wants to push the other sales guy out because he's like, well, I do better, right? And I was like, dude, just think about it like this. If he wasn't there, you probably wouldn't be as good. You wouldn't be like fighting to like beat him out, you know?
Yeah, every Tiger Woods needs their Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, exactly. So the one thing that really, really helps us so much, and like that really just shows the team who are like the clear-cut winners, who needs work, and where they need to improve as well, is our scoreboard. So we're going to share our screen, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. All right, so this is how our team's scoreboard looks like. And you can see that this is November here, but we also have October, September. We have the entire year that we've been tracking. We've been basically tracking how good our trainers are doing. So Brian, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, so I mean, this could be based off of whatever KPIs that you think are more important to your specific gym. But for ours specifically, we broke it down to about 5 different kinds of categories. And so
6.
5 categories, 6?
Well, yeah, because the reviews are in there too.
Yeah, true. But I'll kind of explain how that logic works after. So the main 5 that the score is going to be comprised of is like trial conversions. So if someone comes in for a free trial, if they become a paying member, the contract renewals. So once a client has done their contract and if the trainer is able to renew them again, cash down would just be any kind of like relative sale that they make, whether that's like an upsell of a contract, maybe merchandise, supplements, maybe contract like upsell, like renewal within the contract itself. I'll explain a little bit later. And other kind of important things are like session count, how busy they are actually as a trainer. And then we have another column called trainer standards, which are, a list of things that the trainers are supposed to be doing throughout the week that upkeep the quality and the high level of service that is expected in the gym. They actually get deductions from this column if they violate anything. And then kind of alluding to the last column, which is a different kind of logic, one thing that we find is really important in our business is collecting good Google reviews. So the trainers also get a bonus percentage if they are to acquire Google reviews throughout the month.
Yeah, and just on the note about the Google reviews, so basically they can add an additional 2% for every Google review that they get. So you can see at the end there's their monthly score. Our top guy has 112, you see there, and then there's 103. So if somebody's at 99, they're going to be fighting to get that review, because what ends up happening is they want to be over 100%, because if they're over 100% for every they get $100. They get $100 if they're over 100, if they're 100%, and then any percentage over that, they get an extra dollar more. So, like for example, Ross here is going to get $103 for November, or like Julian's going to get $112 for November. So yeah, when the cool thing is, like, somebody might be at like 96 and they'll be like, oh shoot, I only need like 3 more reviews for me to get to 100. So then they'll just like go and quickly try to get like as many reviews as they can within those last like week of the scorecard, so they can get their $100 gift card. So that's how that works. So they get rewarded at the end as well, and it's really powerful, because you always want to reward people financially. And that was the one thing that Brandon and I didn't realize early on enough, is like, yes, you can have a scoreboard. You can track how well they're doing and KPIs and stuff, but if they're not rewarded for that hard work to get to 100%, they don't care as much.
Totally. And the way that the scoreboard functions on a monthly basis. So basically at the start of the month, everyone's at 0 and everyone has to climb to the top of the mountain again. They're along the same journey with each other. So every week when we have our weekly staff meeting, like, the trainers get to see on a big board in our staff room, like, who's climbing up the ranks and who's kind of being left behind. So it does build that healthy competition. But one thing, ever since we've kind of made a few tweaks to our scoreboard to make it a little bit more unique to ourselves, was our operations manager, when he meets with the trainers one-on-one, he can really like pick apart one of these categories and be like, hey, you're behind on your trials this month. Like, what's going on with that? How can we help you convert in the next month? So not only does it reward the people who are climbing the ranks, it really allows the managers or the trainer to see where resources may need to be allocated to get assistance.
So keep in mind that our gym is a one-on-one personal training gym. I mean, we do have semi-privates at our gym as well, but it's a one-on-one base. So like, everybody has their coach that's responsible for every single one of the clients, no matter at what capacity they're working at the gym in. So like, they could be one-on-one, they could even be like on an open gym membership. There's always going to be somebody that's responsible for them. And that's how we recommend that you set up your gym as well. However, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do that. It's going to make your life easier if you do, because then you can have people managing all of these individual clients and making sure that they're happy and all of that. But let's say if you're doing group classes, in that case, you're going to want to change some things up. So we'll give you some suggestions based off that.
So if you have more of a group class setting, you may want to switch your sessions categories to some kind of like capacity within the classes. So for example, like right now we have our sessions because we're personal training. It's pretty easy to accumulate the data from this, but we have brought in a semi-private option now. And what we do is we actually only count the semi-private class as a session towards their total is if they have a certain occupancy within that certain class. So for example, if they have 2 out of 4 people in their semi-private class, it's 1 session throughout the week. And that way you can kind of keep it fair, and it actually adds up towards the end.
So you can see here in this hidden column that we have a total of like 184 sessions that's we expect a trainer to do. So you can see that Ross is doing like 121 out of 184, given that this is obviously like the 3rd week of November and we update it every single week. So he's almost going to get there. Hopefully by the end of the month, he's going to be able to get to 184. But that's our expectation of all of the trainers. Now, if you're a group class, it's going to look a little bit different. You can use something called like utilization, where you're also tracking like how much of your class is utilized. So if you have like a 12-person capacity, and somebody only is getting like 6 people per class on average, that's obviously a problem, because you obviously want to push it past 80%. So you could track that. You can like put in this column, you can put in like maybe a different amount for every single person. So like let's say Ross is doing 4 sessions, you can say 48, right? 48 is his efficiency for that class, or for his week. Or let's say this person is doing 10 sessions a week. You can say 120, right? So 12 times 10 is 120. So that's her total that she should be reaching. So it could be like completely customized for each person, and so that way you can get a percentage, and it will change the monthly score based off that.
And the cool thing about counting up sessions in this way is you can actually see the overall utilization of your entire gym. So as a manager and owner, you could take a look about seeing like how full your gym is session wise and see if it's actually a good time to like hire or not hire. Because obviously if you have a ton of utilization left and you're hiring new people, the trainer's going to be mad because they're not full yet, and you're bringing someone else on who obviously wants to have more sessions as well. So you're just kind of spreading your client load too thin. But on the flip side, if you're like at like 80% capacity, you should have hired maybe like a month or two ago. So one thing I want to bring up before we wrap this whole thing up is you can make your own scoreboard totally customized to you. Like you can use this structure. But what's probably the best for your own gym is to figure out which KPIs are the most important for your specific gym, but not only figure out which ones are the most important to you, how heavily they are actually weighted. So our formula here actually is weighted differently per category. So for instance, like the trials and renewals are going to be weighted more than the supplement sales for obvious reasons. And same thing with the sessions. They're going to be more weighted than the supplement and merchandise sales. So you're going to have to go in there and figure out using ChatGPT how to build a formula that weights it so that it's fair. So it seems like it's achievable that the trainers can get there by the end of the month, but also challenging enough that it's actually realistic and represents what is important to building your business.
So I just wanted to quickly reshare the screen so I could show you guys like the calculation here, like the formula. So this is obviously all built out by ChatGPT. Like there's no way that me or Brandon could figure this out. We just basically told it what to do. We screenshotted the Google Sheet, and then it basically just through trial and error, trying to figure it out. Obviously ChatGPT isn't perfect right away. You get a formula that you can use to be able to give them a score based off the metrics that you care about. So if you guys like this video, we have more of this kind of stuff inside our Skool community. It's $97 per month. You can join for free. You won't be able to get access to the scorecard and stuff, but you can at least check out a ton of other videos. There's probably a good 4 or 5 lessons that are completely for free, and of course the community as well. So join us on Skool there. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel.